hello and welcome everybody, including the censors. And we want to assure you at the new health conversation, we stay within community guidelines because we only quote medical studies that are in the public domain, that everybody can go and look at them. We don't make claims. There's nothing on the website. We don't sell anything. There are no products. We're simply providing people with real medical proof. We've also written 4 best-selling books of some of the top medical doctors in the world, so we have a lot of our own original research. So I want to make sure the censors understand we play absolutely by the rules. We do not break the rules because we don't have to make up anything, okay? Now, we're welcoming people already. Future S, Mo, Myra, Scorpio, Kelly. Hello, all of you. That is real. What you're looking at on the screen, that's an older gentleman. It's from these medical studies to prove he lost 40 pounds in 30 days. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. The biggest part you want you to look at his lab work. He went from A1C 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. Now, this may be too outrageous for most of you, so let's dial it back some. Let's go. I want to show you, this is pretty typical. By the way, all the pictures I'm going to show you, no one was allowed to exercise. No exercise involved. So let's talk about Kristen here. How many of you women, or men even, would love to be able to lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with absolutely no exercise whatsoever? Now, let me clarify a few things. I got a tremendous amount of pushback today on social media when I posted about the fact that the biggest myth on the planet is about your consumption of protein. What I don't understand is that people want to come on and they want to give me opinions, but they don't have any medical proof at all. They're just saying, oh, well, you get high absorption of protein. That is totally nonsense. Protein itself, listen to me, I'm going to talk about it because this is what they used a new approach, a new protein approach in this to create these results. The protein itself is the shell of the walnut, or think of it like a walnut. The protein that houses the 20 amino acids that's not converted into amino acids is toxic waste that the kidneys have to get rid of. So that's one of the big myths. One of the things I want you to notice, look at day 1, look at her stomach, and then look at day 30. That's with no sit-ups, no exercise at all. But one of the protein sources that she used as part of this, and we're going to go over all that in just a moment, I promise you, okay, had the highest absorption of the amino acids, which are inside the protein, versus protein itself. Like people tell me, well, you got a 60% absorption of proteins with, eggs or meat. Yeah, that doesn't mean a damn thing to your body. Your body can't use that protein. Protein from plants or animals is unusable by the human body. But we can't live without protein because it's inside the protein of the 9 essential amino acids you have to get from protein, and the other, 11 are non-essential. So let's delve into this for a moment. How many of you believe right now, well, let me ask you this. First, what are you pushing? Jumbo Sparkles. Isn't that wonderful? Jumbo Sparkles, what I'm pushing 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Are you trying to tell me you've ever produced a result like that? Don't tell me that, because you know you haven't. Maybe you lost a pound a week and you gained it all back, as most people do. This is real medical science. I'm sick and tired of people coming on here and just giving me comments and making things up. I've been a nutrition researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I've lectured at universities and medical hospitals around the world. So don't give me this nonsense. What's he pushing? If you don't want to be on this podcast, go watch golf. It really pisses me off. We're in dire straits in this world. We have 1 billion people clinically obese, for crying out loud. We have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. You got a solution? Tell me what your solution is, because it sure as hell ain't diets. Even Medicare right here says, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The research has found that long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets, proving whether diets worked. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. What the heck are you pushing? What are you trying to tell people? Calories in, calories out? Yeah, I'm very upset about this. It's about time to stop the bull crap that we're hearing. We're hearing all this calories in, calories out, diet and exercise, make a list. None of it's working. It's a complete disaster. We're in an epidemic. And right there is meant, look at that. 21 pounds in a month with no exercise? Hello? Just silly. I didn't say calories in and out. Jumbo Spark. So go ahead, Jumbo Spark. What am I pushing? I'm pushing science. If you don't believe in science, you're on the wrong podcast. We even provide you a free medical website where you can go and see an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who invented what I'm about to share with people for free. What am I pushing? Do you think with 80% of America overweight and 50% obese and 50% pre-diabetic, Sparkles, you think anything we're doing or you're going to tell me works? What would it be? I'm open. Tell me what it would be. It's just so ridiculous when I hear comments. Oh, Jumbo, that is proven to be so ineffective, it's unbelievable. Absolute nonsense. Up to 40% of what people lost in medical studies, not me giving me your opinion on that crap, was lean muscle mass, as what's happening on all diets. That is one of the worst things you could ever do. Fast one day, fast off. Go do the research. It's nonsense. Compared to this, on that they lost about 1 pound a week. This they lost 5 pounds a week. Which one would you choose? And that calories in that fasting deal, it didn't remove one toxin from the body, which is the main reason people should be doing this in the first place, because of this medical syndrome, which is a registered trademark U.S. patent office called TDOS. You have it, I have it, you can ignore it. You're storing chemicals inside your body, whether you know it or not. And that on again, off again fasting thing didn't remove a gram of a toxin from the body. In these studies, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this is removing chemicals from the body. You can pretend all you want that this stuff, it's all nonsense. How in the hell could we have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, and 50% pre-diabetic if any of these diets work? Even Medicare, they're saying that 2/3 of people who try any of these diets gain back more weight than they lost, including this ridiculous calorie fasting one day, eat the next. Do you know after 22 hours, your body will start to burn your your muscle for fuel? Why would you do that? You're making yourself unhealthy, for crying out loud. Not only will you slow down your metabolism, but you also slow down your own immune system. So maybe you want to pay attention to what I'm going to share. Pushing. I'm a scientist, not a pusher. You can tell I get really upset about this because people have a right to know. They can do whatever the heck they want. If they want to do alternate fasting, time-restricted eating, which is the same thing. Time-restricted eating, let's talk about that. That's a variation of what you're talking about. Let's look at the medical proof, okay? Not an opinion. Let me find it here. Give me 1 second. Where is it? So the Journal of the American Medical Association published a study, which was for 3 months, and here's what they said. That time-restricted eating, where people didn't eat for 16 hours, they fasted for 16 and ate for 8. Over the course of 3 months, they gained almost no benefit from it, and the weight loss after 3 months was 2 to 3 pounds, and the majority of what they lost was not fat but lean muscle mass. That's the Journal of the American Medical Association, Sparkles, not me giving you an opinion. So if you're doing that alternate day fasting, you're losing lean muscle mass. Sorry to tell you. And 2/3 of the people doing it are going to weigh more than when they started. It's like, why do it in the first place? We're not dealing in reality anymore. We're dealing in some alternate universe. We're looking at the definition of insanity, thinking that none of these diets are working. None. Zero. I mean, how many studies do I need to state? Here's another one. Why you shouldn't count calories. These are not my opinions. I'm a scientist, a researcher. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep it off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. What are you doing? Alternate day fasting. What a bunch of nonsense. Not because I say so, because of medical proof, not some opinion. This is nuts. This is crazy. My God, we've got almost 50% of our kids now overweight, and 1/3 of those are type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes in children, type 2, didn't even exist 35 years ago. What are we doing? Anybody wanting to argue that diets work? Really? Okay, let's look at Johns Hopkins Medical School. What are they saying? Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound like diets are working to any of you? Now let's talk about, I know everybody wants me to talk about what did she do? How did she do this? I've been doing it for 2 years straight. Good for you. You're losing muscle mass left and right. You didn't remove a toxin from your body. So it's just nonsense. There's no medical proof behind it, except it doesn't work. You're trying to tell me you lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass? Not happening. Sorry, not happening. So for the rest of you, I want to explain to you how in the world did this happen. First of all, it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. Not by me. I had nothing to do with it. I'm the researcher of the researchers. We're bringing you the research. We're bringing it to you for free. So what the researchers figured out, all these diets at the end of the day are some form of reducing the amount of food you're consuming. So if you do alternate day fasting, you're eating one day and the next day you're eating nothing. So you're reducing the amount of nutrition you have, whether you know it or not. When that happens in your body, when the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, you have no control over this, it automatically does two of the most unhealthy things you could ever do to yourself. Number one, it slows down your metabolism. Because what your body's doing, don't ever let anybody tell you burn fat. That's all just nonsense. The fat cell stores energy, but you're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and no matter what you do, those fat cells don't decrease unless you do surgery or liposuction. That's just a medical fact, all right? So the key here was the researchers realized that all diets were wrong because of one principle, and that is your body needs a minimum amount of nutrition, not calories. It doesn't even know what a calorie is, all right? So again, what you're asking your body to do is operate with less fuel, and when that triggers in the brain, there's less fuel to run all the organs. I don't care what you think, it triggers starvation. And that stops your body from accessing the fuel in your fat cells and turns your muscles for fuel, and your body has to. It doesn't have a choice. It begins to slow down your metabolism, okay? And it slows down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by going on a diet. So what did the researchers come up with? By the way, they had 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people. They're rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They're the ones that invented this, not me. I'm not pushing. First of all, you don't buy anything from see, that's what's so crazy about what she was saying. Or was he pushing? You don't buy anything from us. We don't have any products. We don't have a company. They don't have a company. They don't have any products. As a matter of fact, this is based on 30% of the food she consumed. You get a grocery list you take to your grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. Instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. Revolutionary new concept, right? Sounds too simple, but this was really important. The other 70% of the food that she consumed, you don't buy from us. You don't buy from the researchers. But there were other researchers that the researchers that created this used, and those researchers had gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Okay, so now they had the ingredients for her. Then what did they do? They created two completely new ways of eating. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yes, starting with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and these other exotic foods around the world as the 4th meal, 5 days a week. That's called protein pacing. Then 2 days a week out of 7, she did something called now wait till you hear this. This will spin everybody out. Intermittent nutritional fasting. Notice the word nutritional. Not fasting, not alternate fasting, not time-restricted eating, none of that nonsense. On those days, she ate 8 times a day. What? How could she fast? Because the foods she was consuming were tiny quantities of food and huge amounts of nutrition. You see, what they did in the studies, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this was removing toxins from the body. Oh, also, what else happened in a month? How about hunger coming down 41% in a month? How about lowering blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all in 30 days? And here's the big one that no other diet, including this alternate fasting, ever produced. They measured inflammation for the first time in history. It came down 25% in a month. Look at the transformation in her body with no exercise. Look at day 1, look at day 30. Look at her waist. Jumbo, You show me peer-reviewed human trial studies. I want to see. You notice I said humans. I don't care about animals. I mean, I do care about animals. It doesn't mean a damn thing. That's your problem. Animal studies don't apply. They don't approve drugs through, rats, chimpanzees, etc. So don't give me that nonsense. Unless you can produce a peer-reviewed human trial study proving what you're talking about, it's just wasted time. And I can say it. I wrote 4 best-selling books. I've appeared on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. I did 20 shows on PBS. I did over 1,500 lectures around the world. It meant 0 in the medical world. Why? Because there are no peer-reviewed human trial studies. So don't give me that nonsense. It doesn't matter. That doesn't apply. They won't ever accept what you're saying. Sorry. I mean, see, that's ridiculous. What? Otherwise, they'd approve drugs on animal studies. No, they never do that. You're refusing data is dangerously wrong. You refusing data. No, you're wrong. Unless you can show me on a human being, it's immaterial. What are you arguing with? It's not my research, first of all, let's be clear. But it was done by rated. You're not the top nutrition weight loss physiologist in the entire world. What? What's your rating? Your tests on animals don't prove anything. Jumbo, go have a nice day, because we're gonna respectfully disagree. I'm sure you're a nice person. Okay, so Maggie, so what's the diet plan? It's not a diet, first of all. Let's go back and talk about what she did. But let me show you just a couple of other examples here. Look at this, everyone. That's Julie. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. Show me any diet, including this nonsense about alternate day fasting, that ever produced any result like this. And look at the body. Look at her body composition change. Where's the loose skin? Now here's one. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Look at this, 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds in 3 months. By the way, these pictures are 8 years old and they've kept the weight off for 8 years. See, what's so great about this now is there are 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies in the biggest medical journals in the world, and to get a peer-reviewed study published in the biggest medical journals in the world, it has to be on human beings, and it's basically what the reviewers do. They're trying to discredit what you're proving. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. That's why none of these diets. If there was analysis on diets on weight loss, the results are absolutely. Well, I just told you, Medicare is saying right there that. Here's Medicare. Medicare search for effective obesity. I promise I'm going to tell you how they did it in a second. But I want you to understand. This is what they're now saying. Medicare search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? You know what you're doing? You're counting calories. Why? I'd love for anybody, put in the chat, give me the definition of a calorie. You're counting them. Why? Most people look at that picture, that's a friend of mine, okay, and they think it's a different woman because they've never seen results like this before. Nobody has, including the researchers who did 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people on every diet you could imagine. From water fasting to alternate day fasting to time-restricted eating to paleo, keto, Mediterranean. I'm just telling you what they saw in these studies, and now they've figured it out. Unless you don't think that losing 60 pounds in 3 months is figuring it out. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Right? Yeah, okay, I'm going to go over that in just a moment. Okay, so what's the solution then? Okay, I'm going to again, you didn't let me quite finish. Okay, so over here. All right, so here's the secret to life. The secret to life has nothing to do with calories. The secret to life is only based on nutrition. And what we do on a daily basis, you have a minimum amount of nutrition that you need in order for your body to work. Because the nutrition, not calories, is what drive all your organs, brain, kidney, liver, etc. So what happens on a diet, think about it, what you really do, just everybody think about this, pause for a moment. You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. I don't care what the hell the diet is. If it's alternate day fasting, then on the day you're fasting, obviously you got no nutrition at all. When the brain senses not enough nutrition, it triggers the starvation mode and shuts down your body's ability to access the fuel from your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. And then the brain has no choice. It begins to slow down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on all these diets, then it slows down, and then it stops. You plateau, and no matter what you do, you can't lose any more weight. You come off the diet, you gain everything back. Yes, because you've slowed your metabolism down. But the other thing it's doing to you, not for you, it's also slowing down your own immune system. One of the worst things that can ever happen to a cancer patient is that they lose weight, and most of the weight they're losing is lean muscle, which slows down their metabolism. So when you go on a diet and deprive yourself of nutrition, your body creates something called catabolic metabolism. Basically what it means is the body begins to use your organs, well, first your muscles, for fuel. That's not what you want to be doing. So the researchers, to prevent that, said, wait a minute, what if we find food groups that have huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food? That was exactly what they set out to do. So they developed a food list that you all would get. You physically would get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits that would be based not on calorie count, but on serving size. And it was developed, like I said, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, rated the #1, okay? Not me. The other 70% of what she consumed come from these exotic foods around the world that you literally can go to those suppliers, those coaches. By the way, coaching on this is free. We coach you for free. No questions asked, no gimmicks, no tricks. You get a coach. So the coach gets you the grocery list and also shows you how to buy these foods directly from these suppliers who'd gone to Russia, Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand to bring back these food nutrients that in some cases don't even exist in North America. So now they had the basis for what she was going to do. So 30% of her food for a month came from the grocery store, the other 70% from these foods around the world, okay? Then 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and her last meal of the day from these exotic foods. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating, not alternate day fasting. No, it was fasting with nutrition. Now, how did they pull this off? She got no food from the grocery store at all. She ate no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. You heard me. She was eating about every hour and a half. Look at the results. I stand by those results. Show me any diet on planet Earth that's ever produced anything like that. Look at her stomach area. Now that's a result of what we also know that, none of these other diets have ever proven to remove a gram of toxin from the body, including fasting. But these research, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this was assisting our body in removing these chemicals. And you all, including me, have this medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw, that happens to be me. I did discover it. But the bottom line is we're all storing, with all due respect, we're all breathing, drinking, eating chemicals. They just published a study, 4 weeks ago. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, but we're also finding herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon inside your body. That's why you have people complain all the time. It's not just how much weight they have, but how much fat they have in their body. So what our body's doing to protect us is we ingest, breathe, drink, eat these chemicals. The body first presents them to the liver. The liver can't handle them all. Then the toxins are on the loose. And then the last line of defense for your body is to take that chemical and stuff it in your fat cell. That's why you have all that fat. Right there, you can look day 1 to day 30. Look at the shrinkage in her, from her hips up. That's literally the shrinkage of those fat cells as the chemicals are removed. But you don't burn fat. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. That's just total rubbish. Fat cells can shrink or fat cells can expand. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay, so what's the link to get the exotic foods? So where do I learn to do this diet? Where do I have to go? Okay, Julie, all of you. Julie, if you don't mind, you're the last one up there. Will you type? And the only reason I can't, from my end, for whatever reason, I can't type in the comments. I don't know why. Type in the new health conversation. The New Health, like health, conversation. That is a free medical website where you can see the medical proof. And if you like it, because if you go there, we won't contact you. Number one, understand it. We don't. So the New Health Conversation, no spaces. You got it, Julie. The NEW Health HALTH Conversation, and with no spaces. And so Casey, Christy, and Connie, that's all where you would want to go there. Now the exotic foods, Connie, that's a really good question. I'm going to answer it, I promise, in a moment. But Julie, yeah, so she's going to type. I hope she is. Thank you, Julie. She's going to type in for me the New Health Conversation, which is the free medical website to go to. Now, when we talk about exotic foods, let me clarify something. Food, we eat it because it tastes good, but food itself is not really what the body cares about. The only thing that body cares about are the nutrients in food. So when I talk about the exotic foods, in some cases they're food like you would think, something like you would chew. But most of the food in these native areas where people are living to be 100 years old, they're drinking a lot of times these nutrients as a tea or as a water. So a lot of this is liquid, but it's coming from these regions where people are living to be 100 years old or older and they don't get sick. So it's high degree of nutrients. That's why it's so little quantity of food, but it's not food itself that we need, it's nutrition. Does that make sense to you, Christy? And the code, oh yeah, perfect. The New Health Conversation. Does everybody see it there? Badri WB, and Julie did it for me, okay? So that is, listen everybody, it's a free website, free. If you go there, we won't contact you. I promise, we won't call you, we won't text you, we won't, no. Because we stand, look, you're going to get to see the medical studies, but more importantly, you're going to see an interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, not people coming on here giving me their opinions. A real scientist, 40 years of research, 100 studies. He's been cited over 9,400 times by other researchers. This is the saying they were wrong. That every diet that they studied over the course of 40 years ended up with people, 2/3 ending up weighing more than when they started. And that's when they said, we got to do something different. And that's what makes this so darn unique. No, can you just supplement the amino acids and fast? No, Jason. Well, Jason, if you take, I'll give you an idea. Something like pure amino, okay? That's pure, almost as pure as you can go as far as the amino acids go. But you need a hell of a lot more than the amino acids. You need 70 trace minerals. You need naturally occurring vitamins. You need prebiotic fiber. There's a whole bunch. No, amino acids are wonderful. They're critically important. And these look, they didn't lose. She lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass because the natural protein source they used had a 91% absorption. Pure amino is like 98 or 99%, but it says no other nutrients. It says no other nutrients. Not that it's bad. I would recommend it to people actually and I don't sell it. I don't sell any. I have nothing to sell. We're here to educate you. So if you're taking pure aminos, keep taking them. That's fine. But you're not getting the other things you need. The researchers said basically what these exotic foods represented for the first time in history was the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. That's what matters. Like pure aminos, if you just took those, don't detox your body. No, they don't do anything for that. That's why go to the website and see the medical proof and hear him explain. You know what they said? They'll never recommend any traditional diet to their patients ever again. And these are the top people in the world that have done every kind of diet out there. They invented this. And they don't sell anything. They don't have any products. They don't have a company. They're scientists. I know it sounds too good to be true. You know, we started this out today. Some of you came on late and people were, what's he pushing? What am I pushing? I don't think I'm pushing anything. And we coach you for free and you have a free medical website you can go to. What are we crazy? Are we nuts? We were coached. Yeah, I've been a nutrition researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world. One of my colleagues is the geneticist who discovered the gene that causes aging. One of my other colleagues is the top oncologist in the world and a molecular biologist who worked with 2 men who won the Nobel Prize in medicine. Guess I know, but I'm not the expert. I became an expert on the experts, and I'm teaching you what they taught me. We don't make things up. There's no claims. Why are there no claims? Because we're reading from the peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. And for those that don't understand what that means, I had someone on before and said, I'm doing tests on animals. Great. That doesn't mean a damn thing in the medical world. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It doesn't count. As close as an animal is to a human being, it's not a human being. That's why you want a peer-reviewed human trial studies. That's what these are. 10 of them published in the biggest medical journals in the world, including one here published in Nature Communications. I know I've got, yeah. In Nature Communications, the #1 medical journal in the world. It had nothing to do with the weight loss in these diets. You know what it had to do with? Our gut, but our microbiome. This is groundbreaking stuff. None of these other diets, alternate day fasting, etc., they don't have anything like this. It's just silly to try and compare air, try to compare nonsense without a peer-reviewed human trial study. I know, because for 22 years we didn't have any peer-reviewed human trial studies. In the medical world, you know what all this meant to them? Zero. No drug, thank goodness, ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. So anyway, I hope I answered your question about the amino acids, okay? Let's see, name of the website, please. Yes, you can see it. See above you there, the New Health Conversation. Can you see that? User 816. It's up there right under Badry B. Badry B, will you type it again for people? How much does it cost to do the program? Essentially, you're buying food. Most people say they spend whatever you spent last month total on food, between 30%. Well, you're only going to buy 30% of your food this month from the grocery store, and the other 70% from around the world. Most people say it's about what they spent last month, maybe $50 or $100 more for the whole month. I mean, it's very reasonable. Why? Because you're not buying anything from us. There's no middleman. You're going to your grocery store and buying your food, or you're buying directly from the researchers who supplied these foods to the. Now, listen, I didn't even tell you the best part. The 70% of what you would spend from those researchers in the first month, if this doesn't work for you, 100% money back guarantee. Yeah, 100%. Not from us. We don't, because see, we're not selling you anything. So someone comes on and says, what was he pushing? I'm not pushing a damn thing. I know it sounds too good to be, and you get a free coach. So I want you to understand that. So Lulabelle, if you go there to the website, the New Health Conversation, if someone wouldn't mind typing in for me, Lulabelle, maybe you can do it or somebody else. The New, N-E-W, Health, H-A-L-T-H, Conversation, no spaces, the New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website for all of you to go. Does everybody understand that? So Jason, I hope that answered your question on amino acids, and you can tell I'm not against amino acids, but you have to understand that's woefully short of what we need as human beings to maximize our quality of life potential. Got it? Oh, AJ's on, link in his bio also, which destroys microbiome. Toxins do, Lisa, yes. As a matter of fact, Lisa, just to let you know, we wrote the definitive book on the microbiome called Your Third Brain. I actually wrote it with the top oncologist in the world who's a molecular biologist. This was heralded as a groundbreaking book. It's almost 10 years old now, I can't believe it. We were one of the first ones saying that the microbiome was a lot more than just a collection of bacteria, viruses, pathogens, and microbes, sorry. So I kind of know a little bit about the microbiome. And to have a study in Nature Communications, right here in Nature Communications, gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting versus calorie restriction. These results have never been seen before. People had a 25% increase in what's called the biodiversity of their microbiome just in 30 days. That's never been seen before. And that's the top medical journal in the world. That's not an opinion I'm giving you, okay? None of these other diets have ever done. Well, they've never been published in that level of scientific scrutiny. So let's see, the New Health. Yeah. Oh wow, everybody's typing it for me. The New Health Conversation. The New Health Conversation. Where do I get started? Right there. See that one hero. See the New Health Conversation. You go to that website, all of you, if you want. Because if you go there, we're not going to contact you. What's there? Only the medical proof. If you like what you see, scroll down, and no kidding, you get a coach for free. A free coach. How good is that? Curious thought on Aspire BioHeal if you have. Lisa Jane, I'm not familiar with it, but here's what I would say to you. Does it have peer-reviewed human trial medical studies? Do you know? Can you tell me yes or no? Does it have not a scientific paper, that doesn't matter. Unless it has a peer-reviewed human trial medical studies published, it doesn't mean anything. So I'd be commenting on something that has no value in the medical world. So again, available in the UK, Michael Brown is saying. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely available in the UK. I'm sorry. I didn't see your question there, Michael. Because it's. So what is it now? Let me guess. It's 5:03. So it's around 3:14 in the afternoon in the UK if you're in London or wherever. But absolutely it's available in the UK. I think because we don't sell anything, but those researchers, I know they sell to the whole European Union. I know they're in New Zealand and Australia, obviously the United States, Canada, Mexico. I think something like 25 countries maybe, but I don't know that, but that's another question you could get answered by the 2:15. Okay, so you're basically 7 hours ahead of here. I love your country. I went there like 30 years ago. I went every month for 10 days. And I just remember running in Kensington Park and how green it is. And here's the thing, and you'll probably laugh when I tell you this, Michael. I only got rained on once in all that time. So I don't know if I was lucky or they overrate how much it rains or whatever. But now the only thing I did have a problem, Michael, and I'm sure you would agree with Americans, warm beer was something I had to get used to. But you Brits convinced me that was okay. And so I ended up actually drinking warm beer. It was fine. So what do I do to get started? So One Hero, do you understand right above your name, the new health conversation? Do you see it there? Give me a yes, and I make sure everybody, that website, the new health conversation, is free to go to. There's nothing to buy there. We won't contact you if you go there. The only way you can get a coach is you make the decision, not us. You can scroll down and you can do a free consultation with the coaches who will coach you the whole time for free, not just in the beginning. Look, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders and kidney transplants. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical proclamations at all. All we stick to is what's in these peer-reviewed human trial studies, so we're never making a claim. This is in the public record. You all can go and look at it. But it's on the website so you can see the medical proof. It's there for you. There's no infomercials. There's nothing to buy. My books are not for sale on that website. There's no product for sale on that website, to be clear, because you're not buying anything from us and you're not buying anything from the coaches. I know it sounds too good to be true. That's why most people don't go there, or they're so skeptical. Oh, this can't be real. This has to be a scam. Well, let me explain something to all of you, at least people in North America. This came out yesterday on June 6th, Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world. Over 50 protein miracle. Well, this is a lot more than protein. I don't know if you can read under the headline. This is the magazine saying this. Powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. You don't get on the cover of this if you got some scam. You don't see alternate day fasting on the cover of Women's World because they don't have any medical proof. The reason that they did this is that the top researcher in the world, they knew him and found out about his medical studies, and that's why they were anxious to print this story. It's a big story. It's actually, let me just show you here. I'll find it. It's actually a two full page article on, look at new protein miracle diet. That's what the magazine's calling it. So if you have any doubts that this is a scam or he's making up something, what's he pushing? I don't think I'm pushing anything. But I believe, I don't know if it's sold around the world. I know that it's considered the #1 women's magazine for like 80 years. But this is a huge, and by the way, the 2 women you're looking at there, I coached them. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 90 days. Her mom lost 91 pounds in 9 months. And 9 months ago, she couldn't even climb. Well, when she started, they've been doing it for more than 9 months. When they did it in the first 9 months, she was able to play pickleball 3 times a day, swim 3 times a week, and walk up to 4 miles a day. And they've kept it off now for more than 2 years. See, that's the key to this. That's why it's called R2M, Race to Maintenance. So Julie that you're looking at, that's Christine, yeah, Christine. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite all of you. Okay, so on the whole, Julie, like I was saying before, if you took whatever you spent last month on your groceries, imagine, take your total grocery bill, take 30%, that's what you're going to spend at the store. The other 70% from these foods around the world. So you're going to spend, you might spend, I don't know, $100 more a month. It depends on your grocery list as well. But it's a lot of people think, oh my God, it's $1,000. But you got to understand, you're only buying a tiny amount, well, 30% of what you bought last month. So the other 70% at a minimum is going towards those different things. And again, obviously, the cost is also going to be dependent on how much weight do you want to lose, how fast you want to lose it. Because the key then is maintenance, which is way less, obviously, because you're not doing everything. And that's as simple as the exotic foods for breakfast every day, lunch and dinner, and maybe every 2 months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Does that make sense, Julie? That's it. Over quarantine, dropped 10 and stuck. Been researching carnivore diet but struggled. Yeah, Lisa. We have a version of the carnivore diet, but again, with the carnivore diet, just to bring you up to speed, you're woefully short of the other nutrients that you need that are causing your body, even with carnivore, to be in a starvation mode, which your brain is slowing down your metabolism because your body is looking for the other nutrients that you need in order to be alive. So by doing the carnivore with this, we've had unbelievable results, just crazy results. So we're not against carnivore, but carnivore is really incomplete from a nutritional point. And you have to understand that's the only thing your body cares about is nutrition. So even on carnivore, you're not getting 70 trace ionic minerals. You're not getting 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. You're getting amino acid absorption of only 30%. The research is in this. The reason she doesn't have any loose skin, they found a protein source where the absorption, not of the protein. See, people say that. Oh, protein is 60% absorbed, but we don't give a damn about the protein. Protein is the shell of a walnut, and what's not used as an amino acid is actually toxic waste that the body has to get. Urea, creatinine, glucose, and ammonia, believe it or not, that the kidneys have to get rid of, right? So the key here is with a 91% absorption, there's almost no waste for the kidneys to deal with. Plus, you can consume a third as much protein and get the same benefit, if that makes sense. But again, you can go over all that with the coaches. It's just tough here to cover everything for every person. That's why you get free coaching, because we have kids as young as 2 doing this. 2, a 91-year-old, on the magazine, the mom's 80. She lost 91 pounds in 9 months and kept it off for 2 years at 80 years of age. Well, actually, I think she was 77 and a half when she did it. But she's 80 now. I know she's 80 now. I coached these 2 women. I coached them. How many of you women have seen Women's World magazine? It's on the stand. It was on the stand as of yesterday. It was the June 6th issue. So it'll be out, I think, for a couple of weeks. You can all get it, or if you have it online. But you got to understand this. We don't have to argue. This is like the highest validation you could get. But how come it got on there? Because it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that no other diet has. No other diet has 10 peer-reviewed. It's not even up for debate. Don't debate it with me. It's silly. It doesn't exist. So I take lysine, glycine, taurine, L-arginine, good. Those are all good things. But again, whenever you can get it from a natural source, it's still better because you're still taking those as a supplement. I would support what you're doing. But again, you're still woefully short. You don't have 70 trace ionic minerals. You don't have 21 naturally occurring vitamins. If you're taking vitamins, they're synthetic. They're in a laboratory. And I suspect that the lysine, glycine, taurine you're taking, they're all fabricated in laboratories, which aren't the same thing as the natural absorbing it from protein, which is nature's way of giving us amino acids. Okay, see, I will look into the foods that have it. How do I get the information comfort? Makes sense. Okay, for all of you, if one of you, Regina, if you wouldn't mind writing this down for me in the comments, because for some reason I can't comment. I don't know why. But anyway, it's called here's the website, everybody, The New, N-E-W, Health, H-E-L-T-H, Conversation, no spaces. The New Health Conversation. What happens if you go there? It's a free medical website. We will not contact you. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and you get a free coach. And I mean a free coach the whole time. And they'll show you the list. They'll give you a grocery list. You take to your grocery store 30% of the food, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. And the other 70% you buy directly from these sources from around the world that came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. That was why this worked. That's how it worked. So again, would somebody, Julie or anybody else, if you would help me out and type in the comments, the new health conversation. Wow, we got 500. Sophie gave me a heart. Sweet D gave me a heart. Thank you so much. And if you all can tap on the screen, and let's get the likes up. So who can, Regina, can you type, or Lee Luch, or anybody in the comment section for me, the new health conversation? I'm just curious if you all can do that. While we're waiting for someone to do that, look at this. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, I want you to be honest. Do you think it's a different woman? It's so dramatic. Oh, here's the link. Thank you very much. Does everybody see it there? The new health conversation. It's free to go there. All of you see it at the bottom of the comments. So how do see, Regina, you see that? The new health conversation. Got it? Now, wait till I show all of you this. And I want you to be honest. I want to put in the comments, do you think it's the same woman? That's the daughter of a friend of mine. On the left, for sure. I'd love for anybody to comment. Look at that, 60 pounds in 3 months. You think you're doing that on carnivore or time-restricted eating or alternate day fasting or paleo or keto or Mediterranean or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, and no exercise allowed? No one was allowed to exercise, including her. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Now, why did the researchers do that? Because they didn't want exercise to be part of this. It would have been an outlier. It would have been like, you could have said, oh, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. And you've got to understand, you all can go there for free and see the medical proof. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing there is the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the world. He's rated #1. He and his team created this. He's been cited, listen to this, by other scientists. His research, that's how famous he is, 9,400 times. So it's one thing when you publish your own work, it's something else when all these other researchers from around the world, he's recognized as the top person. He invented this, not me. I kind of want to do what he says. And you get to see this lengthy interview with him where he talks about they'll never recommend any traditional diet ever again. They said it would be unethical. Why would we put you on a diet that would take you 8 weeks to lose up to 40% of your lean muscle mass and 2/3 of you gain more weight than you lost? They did 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people on all these diets. Honestly, everybody, I mean, it's just so, it's really scary because here's the latest study. Johns Hopkins Medical School. Listen to this, everyone. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Do you really think the diet you're on now is going to work? And here's the sad part. I'd say almost all of you won't even go to the website right there at the bottom, the New Health Conversation. That's free to go there. Free. To see the medical proof. Why wouldn't you want to see medical proof? Don't believe me. I'm serious. Do not believe me. It's not my research. So how would I don't want to have to convince you. I don't have to sell you anything. I'm not pushing anything. Well, we're pushing knowledge. If that's okay. Is it all right if we educate you? All we want to do is make you aware of what's available. You do whatever the heck you want. If you want to go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean, carnivore, none of them work long term. You all know that. You kid yourselves. So you did paleo, you lost weight, you gained it all back. Well, that didn't. Now you're going to do carnivore. Now you're going to do whatever. I mean, even Medicare. I mean, it's just when you got people. Well, I mean, it's just crazy. Here it is. This is Medicare, a new study. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's the title of the study. They said, our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether these diets are an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any of these diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? Why? I mean, why? For what reason? You're counting calories? I still, in all this time, how much is it, please? Okay. The simplest way to say about it, take your food budget from last month, and probably at the most, maybe you'll spend $100 more in a month than you spent last month, because 30% of the food you're going to buy from your grocery store, you get a grocery list, but only 30%. So you're not buying all the food you bought last month plus this. No, this is now new food groups. A lot of people tell me it's the same as what they spent. I don't know, because I don't know what your food budget is. But it's not like $1,000 more, some crazy thing like that. No, it's most people feel it's really affordable because you're buying directly from the suppliers. You're not buying anything from us. You're not buying from the researchers. You're buying directly from the suppliers. So it's way more. Obviously, there's no middleman. And also, to let you know, Tomatito, whatever, sorry, mispronounced your name. Those researchers, I mean, those suppliers, they'll give you 100% of your money back in the first month if it doesn't work or you're unhappy. You don't have to have a reason. They'll do it. It's no questions asked. You show me any other diet on planet Earth that does that. And you get coached for free. Free. The coaching's free, everybody, free. And you all can go to the website. You see it about halfway there up under Julie Walker Carver, the New Health Conversation. New in 90 days. New in 90 days. What is your solution? Ouch. Ouch because why? Ouch from what standpoint? I'm not quite sure. No. About $100 a week. Yeah, that's about right. But part of that $100 a week, AJ, is also regular food. So there's someone doing it. Better known than me because she's the one buying the product. So too dear, too expensive. Well, then again, here's your problem. You're not going to lose weight and ever keep it off. I'm sorry. It's like this is, it's not a drug, but it's like a wonder drug. I mean, if this is the solution, which it is, for obesity, there's no alternative, unfortunately. And it costs what it costs. I mean, these foods are coming from Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America, New Zealand, which just the shipping alone is crazy. They're not, you can't get these foods in Kansas and Nebraska and Illinois. Well, you can get some of them, but they don't have the nutritional density that this does. I'm sorry. I don't have anything to do with the pricing, okay? So let's be clear. Can't buy healthy without spending, is it? Yeah, that's really true, Lisa. You're buying. Well, here's another way to think about it for all of you. This maybe is even a simpler way to explain it. So, new in 90 days, what's your solution? I'm going to tell you in what woman, 1.7, 55 kilograms. And what would you like to weigh, Tomatito? If you're 55 kilograms now, what would you like to weigh? No, what I was going to say is imagine if you had gasoline today and there were two pumps. Pump number one says this gallon will take you 20 miles. Pump number two is slightly more expensive. This gallon will take you 100 miles. That's what you need to concentrate on. So your comment, Lisa, is very well taken. But it's not 3 times what you're spending. I mean, if it's $100 a week, I mean, have you looked at a meal? Like even in something like just a restaurant for a sandwich and a soda. It's not a soda, but whatever you're drinking. It's $10-12 a meal. And this replaces about 70 meals in a month. I want build muscle. Well, look at her. Can you see that, Tomatito? You're not going to build muscle with a normal diet. It just is not happening. Or here's a better example for you. Look at this. That's 37 days. Look at her body. Look at her body. Look at how much it changed. You can see the lean muscle on her. It's right there. You can see it, right? So can we get some more taps? We're only at 582 and I've been on for 53 minutes. Wow. I must not be doing too well this morning, or people aren't awake, or they're not up with it. But again, I want to show you all, talk about building lean muscle. I'm going to show you someone who exercised. Because these people, I mean, all these pictures I've showed you so far, no exercise allowed. I'm going to show you 11 days, day 1, and then the morning of day 12. You talk about building muscle. To me, where do you see this? Okay, look at day 1. You can see they're pretty darn good shape. Day 5, that's the morning of day 5, so that's 4 days in. And then look at day 12, the morning of day 12. Look at that transformation. You talk about building lean muscle. Look at that. That's not Photoshop. Great, Lisa Jane. Wonderful. I'll take a look when we get off this. And normally you'll get contacted by a coach On Saturday, you're probably looking, you might get feedback in 2 or 3 hours. At most, it'll be a day, just to let you know, okay? Thank you very much for doing that. And you saw on there, if you went there, Lisa, there's nothing to buy. There's no buy buttons. You saw that, correct? And you saw the video about the explanation. And all of you, including Tomatito and Lisa and all of you, look, this came out yesterday on the newsstand. Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, endorsing this. I mean, I don't have to say much more than that, I don't think. You don't get on the cover of Women's World if something it's a fake. You know, people call me a grifter, the BS. They call me all kinds of names, and because it's interesting that they do that with no medical proof of anything against what I'm saying. Because I stand on solid ground. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that nobody else has. We are the competition. You can do any diet you want. They're silly, and all the evidence says 2/3 of you are going to gain more weight than you lost. Counting calories, and I still don't have anybody tell me what is the definition of a calorie. Does anyone know what a calorie even is? Why are you counting calories? I'm serious. I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I coach these 2 women. I know them. They're my friends. The daughter, 50 pounds in 90 days. The mom, 91 pounds in 9 months, and they've both kept it off now for 2 years. The mom's 80 years old. Well, now she's 80. She was 77 and a half when she started this. But look at that, everyone. We can't Photoshop that. I mean, maybe you could, I don't know, but we get sued by Women's World. We're showing you, we're selling magazines for Women's World. There's no doubt about it. Because lots of people on this are going out and buying the magazine, even if they're on the protocol, because they're so fascinated, they want to read the story. It's a full 2-page story in the magazine. It's just, you talk about wonderful. I mean, it's so cool because that kind of endorsement, you can't buy the cover of that magazine. It's not an ad. You got to understand. Let me just see if I can find the article. The point is that we now have real science. We don't have celebrity endorsements. We don't have anything that even like that, right? So, but to have a, come on, 21, where's, oh, I've got it right here. Bear with me, everybody. Look at this. Look at the title. New Protein Miracle Diet. But I mean, protein, it's only partly protein. That's only part of it. But look at that. And it's the interview is with the #1 nutrition research physiologist in the world. They invented this and they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. But again, no, smoothies don't, no, not smoothies. Again, yes, Ben, if you're in the UK, a million percent. What is this, Rhea? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. No, it's not tablets. Tom Alito, go to the website. Can somebody put it up there again for me, Rhea, or not Rhea, but somebody did for me before. There's a free website for all of you to go, and then I promise, Rhea, I'm going to explain to you exactly what it is. AJ, can you just type it in for me, please? Because people, they maybe not, and I'm not sure in my bio if there's spaces between AJ, but it's the new health conversation. So let me come back to who was asking me, Rhea. Okay, so what did they do to create this? Let's go back to the first slide here. So this is really typical. That's with no exercise. She lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. The researchers who invented it are the top researchers in the world in weight loss, nutrition, and physiology. They invented this, okay? So what they figured out after 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people, diets don't work. And the reason is because diets are based on the false premise of counting calories, and the human body has no idea what a calorie is, okay? Oh, if you go to my bio, then click on the picture twice, and then you'll find the link. Okay, that's good. So what they figured out was this. The reason diets don't work is we have a minimum amount of nutrition that we work on, period. When you reduce the amount of food you're consuming, think about it, what else are you reducing? Nutrition. So the researchers, they set out to find foods that had high levels of nutrition, but low quantities of food from a bulk standpoint. They created a grocery list that she took. but only 30% of the food she consumed came from the grocery store, from proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. But only 30% of what she bought, purchased, consumed in a month was from that grocery list you go to your grocery store to buy. The other 70% of the foods come from these these other suppliers, not the people who created this, and not from us. You buy directly from them. And those foods come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Then they invented 2 new ways of consuming the food. That's what she did. 5 days a week, she actually had 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most perfect meal, or the exotic foods, let's call them, for breakfast. No food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal, these exotic foods, at the end of the day. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, nothing to do with any type of fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. You heard me. She was literally eating every hour and a half, and she was fasting with nutrition because she had very tiny amounts of volume of the food, but huge amounts of nutrition. Look at the results. That is not Photoshop. That's real. That's pretty typical, 5 pounds a week. Now, the key to this is not that. The key to it is maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This picture is about 8 years old. They've maintained it now because we teach you maintenance is simple. Your breakfast every morning, these exotic foods around the world, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal. No, not a 4th meal, sorry, just the exotic food. This is maintenance, sorry. Exotic food for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then once every 2-3 months, do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast once you've reached your goal. Because the coach's job is to get you to your goal and then teach you how to stay there, if that makes sense to everybody. So does that make sense? Yes, Liz, Jane, you're exactly right. Look, we're getting agreement on all of this right away. So, Timotito, do you understand now? You want to go to that website, the New Health Conversation, or go to my bio and click on it. You double click on my picture and the bio comes up. It's for all of you on here. Listen to me. It's the THE New NEW Health like a conversation. That's what we need. That's what we're having. This is the New Health Conversation. It's not just a conversation. It's also a movement. Does that make sense to everybody? Great. All right, so I'm going to end this podcast right now, and I'll come back on again, let's just say about noon Eastern Standard Time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, and 9 Pacific. And of course, for the people around the world, whatever time zone you're in. So right now in Denver, Colorado, it's 7:45 in the morning. I don't know what time it is in your neck of the woods, but I would be coming back on again then at 10 Denver time. So you can project. If you're in England, I guess that would be 10, be 2, be about around 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. And if you are in the UK, again, any of you or anybody, anywhere, please go to the New Health Conversation and see what's there. We won't contact you, but you can scroll down and you get a free coach if that's what you want to do, right? All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off for now, and I hope this has been really useful information for everybody, and I'll encourage other people to go to the website, okay? Bye, everybody.